women dressing modestly and stuff like that. Do you think there's a cultural shift with women not wanting to dress modestly and wanting to be more revealing? Like, what's your thoughts on that, real quick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the norm. I think that, you know, um, is what women like to see other women in my opinion. I think women um, hype each other up to dress more revealing, and and even though we know, most of us know that men
Mhm.
don't. Good men, a quality man does not want. You can find a man who's going to like it regardless, right? But I think
Yeah.
when you start attracting certain men, they're not going to like that. And I think when we get into the modest talk and the conversation, it goes back to the let women do what they want to do, mind your business. Why do you care? But I'm like, it's so much protection that I don't think we correlate what being dressing modest. And again, going back to your point about wanting black men to protect you, how can a man protect you when you put yourself at risk? And I think we kind of undermine that even just by how we're dressing and we go out in public. I have to know that when I go outside and I'm going to, wear certain things, if I put myself in a situation, I'm now putting my husband in a situation because of how I'm dressing. So I think we go back to like thinking about, because I know for us as women, we want to have the autonomy to do what we want, but I think we dismiss. I think if you're, as long as you understand why men objected, I think cool. Like, as long as you're aware that why men don't like it, but I think we get into the men are controlling, they're insecure. I personally don't believe. This is just me. I don't believe that a man who's with a woman,
Mhm.
if he truly loves her and cares about her, that he will allow her to go outside with no clothes on. That's just me. I don't think he really is serious about her. That's just my opinion. Because I think any man who truly loves his woman in that way and wants to keep her sacred to him,
Mhm.
he's not going to want to have her exposed to the world. But if he's like, I don't care, girl, do your thing. I just think that that's a viewpoint on depend upon. I just don't think that's a real man would want his woman to be that way.
Gotcha.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on this?
I don't really have any thought. I don't agree with it, but I don't got nothing to say on it because that's how she feels. Me, my man loves me to death. I'm still gonna wear what I want. I just don't agree with the whole simple fact. You said something like if you wear, what'd you say? You said if you wear revealing clothes, you got to be prepared to come with that.
So I'm saying if I go out in public and I'm wearing,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, something see through, and every man is not respectful. We know that, right?
Hmm.
And he decides to touch me, right? And again, it's not okay. I'm not saying it's okay, but we know that there are men out here who don't have respect and they will, do things. At that point, I now will have to involve my husband because now I have to, let's say, call him because this man put his hands on me
Hmm.
simply of the fact that I was exposing myself.
I feel like, well, that man, if he were to touch you, his mother, whoever raised him, failed him. Because a woman, you should be able to wear what you want without being touched or sexually assaulted.
But you're being but let's think about this. What you're wearing, is it not sexual?
Give an example. What you talking about? A dress? You talking about a bikini
See
top?
through
What are
something,
we?
see through.
Yeah, it's
Let's see.
just
Yeah.
exposing your body. Your
She
your
said,
breasts are showing, your butt is showing, it's see through. You know what people wear. They're wearing very.
skin.
At this
I see
point, it's
people all the
Lingerie and
time
Air
wear that. I
Maxes
still
all
don't.
day.
right,
I don't agree with what you're saying
right.
though. I
But again, I
feel
think that that's kind of the thought. Like, we should be able to wear whatever we want. And I think that that's also, why we have
I
this
mean, and
clash with men and
yeah,
women.
Go ahead and wear it and let your ass hang out. If the mosquitoes don't bite you, the motherfucking goddamn a handful of goddamn, don't let them goddamn Kawhi Leonard claws get on you. Some big
I
ass
got a,
hands.
I got a question for Shan, Aisha, and Don. Do y'all think that a man can love you and let you wear revealing clothes outside?
Oh shit.
I think absolutely. I think that it just to me, a regular woman like me, no. But you
Hold on, you a
have people.
regular woman?
I mean, when I say that, I mean like I'm not famous, right? So I feel like
Oh,
some people have to do that for money. Like it's women that literally get paid to put on these outfits, walk on Paris runways, and they're married and their men allow these things. To me, your man has to allow these things to happen unless you're like Gabrielle Union and you wear the pants. That's a whole nother story. But I think on the average, every man that I have ever dated or came in contact, they don't want their woman showing off to the world. Like it's just not a thing. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a thin line between a man saying, I think that you should know. Like I think that your man shouldn't really have to tell you don't wear that. But if he happens to be like, oh well, dang, that's a little revealing, whatever, then that means that made him feel uncomfortable. So as a woman, I think that you should take heed and be like, oh well, do you think I should change your outfit? Like, it's never been that big of a deal as these women make it. You know, the whole my body, I can wear what I want to wear. And I always feel like, well, that's why you're not in a relationship, because why wouldn't you want to keep that private? Like, why would you want to walk around with your ass out? Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, every day, every time you go somewhere, it's ridiculous. And I blame social media, and I blame the culture, and I also blame men because just as much as y'all say y'all don't like it, it's 3 times men that do like it, and they are okay with it. So that's my take on it.
I think that there are levels, you know. I think you go out, you're classy, you have a classy, like sensual, you know, maybe a little bit of cleavage, you know, a little tasteful. I think that is okay. If you have something that's see-through, I mean, Bump, whether he loves you, does he love himself? Why would he want to be seen with you? That's a reflection of him too. That's embarrassing for him.
Who is the cleavage for? You or for external validation?
No, I like to look sexy for my man, you know. But it's never distasteful. Do not get it twisted, because I don't like showing my body to everybody like that, because I just don't feel like it's necessary. I don't like to go anywhere that I feel like if I run into a kid, I'm gonna have to be like, you know, people take their kids out, you know. So I wouldn't do that. But it'll be just
don't you got to kind of show a little bit so you can get the man you want?
What you mean? You can just be have a nice outfit on and pull a man.
Where your man at? No, I'm just messing with you.
I actually turned my camera off because he just. That's where I went when I turned my camera off.
Y'all remember what I said on King Talk? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So Shantae is not single, if that's what you're saying.
Oh, so you finally found a man. I've
been with him for almost 2 years. What are you talking about?
I mean, I know you for 3.
Oh yeah, I was with him when we first started here. So, but that's my. But I told y'all I'm friendly, but I'm not accessible. So I'm not just out here, you know, just dating any type of man. I'm sorry.
I think that since you did say my name,
2 years you engaged.
I think since you did say my name, I give my opinion. I dress how I want to dress. I feel like on my daily basis, like on a consistent basis, I have on jogging pants. I love jogging pants. I like dressing down. But often I like to show some skin. I feel like the older I get, the more I don't want to show skin. I feel like I've noticed, and it's starting with my generation too. I feel like people be judging people that's like way younger than them, right? So for instance, in my mom, she's like 51. In her generation, when they start wearing like baggy pants and stuff like that, the parents was just like, what is y'all doing? Like, they was judging them. They was calling them hoodlums. They were telling them that their style is this and that. And even when think about back in the day when women just only used to wear dresses, right? Soon as they start wearing pants, they were calling every woman who wears pants a feminist and whatever the case is. I do think that some women show their body to get for monetary value, but I don't think that's the case for all the women that dresses like that. I dress like that because like she said, it depends on where I'm going. So for instance, when I go down to Pride, I see a lot of people just like dressing crazy because I guess
Pride Week.
Yeah. And I don't agree with that. When I go down there, I see them and I'm like, there's kids here. You get what I'm saying? And if Pride's supposed to be love, like, why make it sexual? Or if I go to like Six Flags, right? If I go to Six Flags, I'm not gonna wear something where my nipples is showing. I'm not gonna wear something that's sheer. I'm not gonna wear something where I have on booty shorts. Like, I wouldn't do that. But if I'm going to a late night beach party with my homegirls and boys, and it's just like a turn, kill, check, like chill kickback, especially when we was in our 20s, I really didn't have anybody really like no man, I don't feel like has stopped talking to me or wanted to stop talking to me or disrespecting me or treating me a certain way based on what I wear. But that's just my generation. I feel like generations evolve with like how we feel is. I feel like a lot of people are old school, like a lot of like old school idealations. I don't feel like I have a problem in dating when it comes to that. Most of my problems comes with my dissatisfaction with, you know, the men and not understanding their efforts and things of that nature. But I personally haven't had it held against me. And I feel like, yeah, I think that's just because when people see me on a daily basis, I don't get those comments. I guess because I probably don't attract like a huge fan base. I only the people who's following me and stuff like that is people that I know or I've encountered or I see on a, you know, on a somewhat basis.
It could be because you may not have the protrusion of the more voluptuous, you know, the booty cheek.
Well, if you see the pictures I post, I guess you wouldn't say that, but yeah, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I think by the comments I get, like you do attract a certain crowd when you post that pictures, right? Like if I show you my inbox, you're just gonna see a whole bunch of blue dots when those pictures I posted. But not only then, when I'm making debatable conversations and talk about politics, you see those same blue dots. You know, I attract a diverse audience, if that makes any sense. But I don't do it for men. I do it because I think feeling sexy makes us feel good. It just goes back to time when you think about the Amazons and how they used to dress when you go to ancient Egyptian. I just think over time, the way we dress make men feel some type of way. So then we have to conform how we dress to fix y'all insecurities or to make sure that you're performing at your best or you're not thinking of whatever the case. Like that's why I don't feel like I would ever change.
I'm just saying, like from an image consultant optics. I'm looking at your neck. You got the neck. You got the vein in your neck. You got some skinny arms. You look frail. I don't know.
I can show you a picture. I actually just posted on my Instagram page.
No, I'm just saying though. You know how some girls can be skinny and be slim thick. Like they slim.
That's what it gives. That's what it gives. That's what it gives.
You? Dang,
I don't know.
So.
I've had a guy that I was dating ask me, "Are you gonna wear that?"
You know you better not wear that, girl. You gonna fall out of that shit.
Yeah, you know what? I think it. I don't think it necessarily speaks to
because you have different intentions when you're dressing full of men.
When you're going out
different
to date,
than when you're going out to enjoy yourself and you know.
Shan, look, man, I said why? Because like you, I'm like, dang, I'm trying to be sexy for my man, right? And he says, well, we're going with the guys that like shoot pool. Like it was something like that, or I was like completely overjoyed.
So I think it doesn't. Oh, go ahead. You want to finish?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead.
All right. I think it speaks more to the man's character because certain men just don't think that there's anything wrong with it, right? There's some guys who actually are, that's a turn on for them for other dudes to admire their woman. I think it borders cuck behavior. That's just my opinion, but that's just how some people feel. So he could love her, 100% and still he thinks it's okay. Right. It doesn't mean he doesn't love her. It's just like, OK, well, this is acceptable for me. But, I think those are generally men on the weaker side. But I don't think it says that it doesn't that he doesn't love her. And even with some women, right, who may do that. I would say if the woman understands how he feels about it, if he expresses that to her and she continues to do it, then you might be able to question the validity of her love, because if she knows that this is really taking a toll on his mental, then and to just ignore it, then that's a different story. But dudes, you probably shouldn't do that because you get the consequences, man. You understand that people are going to be disrespectful. We know that women should be able to do that, but at the same time, I'm not going to go like through the hood with the fattest chain I got on my neck. Like it's not a good look, because not because someone should rob me, but because I know what the consequences are for me to just be rolling through the hood with whatever on. You know better. You're like, all right, well, this is probably going to be problematic for me. So to avoid those types of issues for the degenerates, you just want to make sure you're in a good position. So it behooves women to aid their man in that protection.
I feel like when y'all say that for our protection, it's like we're not walking down the street and random men for like that. Them are hoes. Where I'm going, there everybody else dressed like that too. The men know how to respect the women. We're not being grabbed. We're not being like
It depends on where you at.
Like where I
if
go,
you
like
go down
when I
the
go to
strip
my
in Philly or
swingers
something
event,
like that,
and
you
like
gonna
just
get
to
some.
try to- you said who?
It depends on where you go. Go on the strip
But that's what
in
I'm
Philly,
saying, y'all.
and it's like, you know what I mean. It's a different ball game. It be dudes out there that's gonna approach you, and you know, like it's different. Depends on where you are. There are some dudes that's beast out here. Like
No, I'm
I done
saying
seen
what?
that.
So we
I done
gonna
seen
dress
people
up like
getting
that just to go
whole
on the
fights
strip?
and all
We
that.
talking about the internet, like the girls who's posting. When they're posting this, they're not going to walk on the strip. They're going to a party. They're going to an event. They're going somewhere to have fun. They're not going to walk the strip. So it's like I feel like y'all use that, but in reality, I think you say it more for your comfortability. Just like when women talk about, oh, men doing this and they're causing my insecurities by dating other women. I feel like they use that as an excuse to avoid that they're insecure. If that man is doing things and making you insecure by cheating and things of that nature, you have to take a look at yourself, because then you got to think about why this type of man determines how you feel your value is. So I
Got a
think
question for you. Got a question for you. Then, if that's the case, I got a quick question for you. If that's
our safety.
If that's the case, there are some cultures where you are required to cover everything. Would you call those men of that culture, all of them, insecure?
No, because when you hear, this is the thing, you have to actually get to know that culture. Why we do something is not why another culture would do it. When you talk to that culture, the women say, my opinion, I feel like it's sometimes most value, even though that's not how the outside might portray it. They say any wants or needs that I have, he makes sure he meets them. He does this and that. So that's just for, that culture. And there's a way that they make their women feel like that. But when you go onto the internet, even other race men said that Black men complain most about having to take care of women than almost any other race, as if that's not something that's supposed to be done. That's something that comes with the relationship. So that's why I try not to compare what we go through in our cultures and other cultures, because there's a whole different foundation for how they treat their women than what has been agreed upon with Black men. I feel like a lot of Black men are following the Tupacs of the generation versus the Commons and the Nas's that was actually trying to preach stuff. And when I was talking to my pastor said that as fathers and as fathers, we have to take accountability for that.
So, Di, before you go on, that's like a Matembo level deflection you just pulled there. That didn't really answer the question at all. Like, that's not what I said. Like, and that's not the reason. Like, listen. I don't even know where you got that from, but that's not what I was asking. I was basically saying because men aren't doing that because they're insecure. It's not about being insecure, right? It's just a part of your covering. That's pretty much the reason when you talk to the people of the other cultures. It's not for everyone else. It's for your husband.
Trev, I agree with you, because I think that I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Like, I've dated a guy that wanted me, like literally was like, go work the room, like wanted to see me go around and like talk to people and show off my outfit, you know what I mean? And then I've also dated the guys that are like covered completely up. And so I think that kind of confuses a woman, because it's like, dang, am I supposed to be like this on one end, and then on this end I want somebody that's like, you need to like cover your body.
Would you wear it around your father?
This is
absolutely, my dad is cool as shit, but that's a whole nother story.
You call that being a cool dad?
Look, this is one thing that I always tell people: don't ever get with somebody that you have to tell them how to dress. Find people who are already fit that mold. That I would never ever suggest a man tell a woman how she's supposed to dress. That woman should look like what you want her to look like off rip, because you're going to have some serious hassles like that, right? If she's not extremely agreeable and all that, you're going to have problems. Like, if you don't like the way she dresses, that's just part of her persona, right? And there's certain things, other things that you're not going to like about her. Find people who already, if you want a woman who dresses conservatively, then you go ahead and find a woman who is already dressing conservatively.
I agree.